podcast over at wildgamesproductions.com and d20radio.com.
Between the time when wargamers played with chainmail and the rise of the Wizards of the Coast, there was an age of gamers. And unto this, Gygax, destined to bear the crown jewel of TSR upon a troubled brow, to show you all how to roll for initiative.
The Roll for Initiative podcast, volume number 2, issue number 91. DM Vince sitting alongside DM Nick.
Hey folks, how you doing?
And DM Will.
What's going on?
Nothing much. We're sitting there for another episode of the Roll for Initiative podcast. In case you haven't heard, or this is your first time listening ever, we are the only podcast dedicated to Advanced Dungeons & Dragons First Edition. The one and only, the best edition. Come on, guys, back me up.
Woot, woot.
Oh, yeah, sure. Of course.
Well, we promise you we are THAC 0 free.
Yeah, there's another podcast that takes care of that stuff.
Yeah. One no one ever listens to.
I think someone mentioned on the emails like our sister podcast.
Yeah, nobody listens to it anyway, so don't worry about it. Oh, no, I'm kidding. They're a wonderful podcast, Thackless Hammer. Listen to them and enjoy. Anyway, so, we're three of us are back together, finally.
Yeah. Like I said last time, July was a weird month, so more or less back to normal.
We're back to normal, sitting in our chairs, relaxing, waiting for the summer to be over.
Yes. Three guys who are like somewhere in their 40s or 30s sitting around talking about first edition Dungeons and Dragons.
Hey.
If that's normal,
yes.
I'm there.
Hey, I'm not that old just yet.
Oh, I take offense to that because I know I'm 42, but I mean, really?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, rub it in there.
I'm right behind you there. I'll get up here with my walker.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the baby of the group anymore. Matt is, actually.
Yes, he's a young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he's not here today because he's playing. What is he doing again?
HeroClix, a tournament HeroClix. He's trying to win that $300 Thanos HeroClix or something.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I remember when we were coloring our dice with crayons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember we used pieces of paper inside of a cup.
Yeah. And we liked it.
Yeah, Will is so old they didn't even have dice invented back then, right?
That's the bad part about it. Oh,
they literally rolled the bones.
Yeah, they literally rolled the bones.
I'm going to have to take some Geritol now.
No. All right, so we're all here. You don't need to hear what we're doing. We'll head right into Sage Advice.
Sage Advice.
Sage Advice. We can sing Sage Advice. Sage Advice this week is brought to you by Mattel. No, I'm kidding. Sage Advice, we have a couple emails. You can email us at rfistaff@gmail.com or 570-865-4210, the hotline.
That's right. All kobolds are standing by.
Yes, they're standing by to take your pledge. Will you pledge for that little kid out there? Anyway, we have an email that just came in. Bing! And DM Will. Go ahead.
Let's see here. It says here, hey all, DM Dan here. I just listened to issue 89 segment on playing evil characters, and I have to say that DM Will is wrong.
Dun, 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 dun.
And he goes here, don't feel bad, Will. I'm not a Will hater. You're my favorite host. Here's why. So he got some brownie points there.
Uh-huh.
It says here, Will states that, as a good person, he's incapable of playing evil accurately. When has AD&D or D&D been about playing things completely accurately? I never heard in any game I ever been in anything like, dude, I just can't get into this because the game doesn't treat combat, religion, whatever else like it really is. Why should morality and ethics be any different? Here, an approximation is likely good enough. Let me see here. Furthermore, if alignment must be played accurately, what about something as simple as the basic mental stats? I know I play characters that are either smarter or dumber than I am, for instance. It's impossible for me to play these characters accurately, but that's never pointed out as an issue. Why, again, should evil good be different? And let's see what his last part here says. I also think it's important to remember that just because a character is evil doesn't mean that he or she is always completely evil at all times. For PCs, if the evil character has a reason to care about his or her companions, even if it's just that by working with them, he or she furthers his or her own evil ends, then that PC shouldn't cause more trouble than a good and neutral character. Other reasons, love, religion, shared background, etc., are even better. I think that it's only when a PC is played in the stereotypical 13-year-old boy, I'm evil, I'm going to kill everything kind of mindset that things get to be a problem. Relatedly, what's with all the Kender hate? I think that I'm a Kender is the same kind of excuse as I'm evil for playing like a jerk, and it doesn't have to be that way. Anyway, I like the show a lot. Keep up the good work. Thank you, DM Dan.
Yeah.
There's some good points. Some definitely good points.
Little, Kenders.
Oh, Kender, here we go again. Well, I'll tell you, I don't like Kender, and I guess I'm evil for saying that, but I don't like them. Kill them all. Anyway, let me say this. I'm not saying it is not for me as a player to have fun playing an evil character. It's not about a rule. It's not about playing it accurately. I just have no desire or any type of, want to play an evil character. I just have
It's a personal preference thing.
It's basically a personal preference. Now, don't get me wrong. I have played evil characters before, and I have, only in one thing, and I hosted an adventure or two that had evil characters, but that's a Pathfinder issue, and I think I stated it on that show about Second Darkness, where the characters are evil. Now, that's a whole different story, but I honestly cannot play, in good faith, knowing that I have good people in the party, I'm playing an evil person, and just go with the flow because of the adventure. It just doesn't work like that for me. I just don't see how that can work. And like I said, it's a personal preference. It's not a rule issue. I just don't think it's good for me as a player, and I think I'd be doing the group an injustice by not playing the character the way it properly as an evil character, if that's what it is. I don't know about how y'all feel about that, though.
As far as me, I think I've played just a handful of the evil characters, and I think they were lawful evil. Because I think in a mixed group, as far as of alignments are concerned, it seems like lawful evil to me would be the only one that could really pull it off. Neutral evil and chaotic evil, I'm not so certain. But I mean, I played a lawful evil character in a group where there was chaotic goods and neutrals and stuff like that. So I pulled it off just fine, I think, and didn't lead to any inter-party strife at all. But like you said, Will, it's a personal preference thing. It's not if you're playing it right or wrong. I agree. It's just you just feel like as you can't role play it. You're doing a disservice to the party and the enjoyment of the group if you're not playing it right. I think that's kind of going on, and I could see that.
Well, then let me give you an example. But we talk about evil. I think I mentioned this also on that episode that try a lawful neutral character. Those are much more difficult, and they're more brutal.
That'd be very difficult to play because it's just strictly law, the rules of the road, everything.
I am the
Yeah, well, see, and you got to understand that when you got to look at it from my perspective now. Maybe early in my career, with playing games, I probably could have played an evil character, but as games have evolved over the last 30 years, alignment has also evolved. It ain't simply no more the small, simple definition of first edition. Now you have to look at second, you have to look at third, you have to look at Pathfinder, and then of course numerous other games out there where, alignment has just been, it just gets bigger and bigger, and there's more things to take into perspective when you play an evil character. I just don't have the natural feel for playing an evil character, and it's not because I'm basically a good person. I am basically a good person. I really am. I'm not a bad person. I mean, if it would be a test of my gaming ability and experience to play an evil character properly. Right. If I don't play it properly, I am doing an injustice to the game as a whole.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, then. I'm with you, man.
But you know what? I will agree. Hey, I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. That's fine. Just don't let me know where you live at. I'm just messing around.
Wow.
Nah, Dan, you're good to go, my friend. It's okay to call me wrong. Online only.
I knew it.
All right. I guess we'll go on to the our second letter. And it starts, greetings, RFI staff. Recently got into the podcast, and your sister casts Save or Die and Thacko's Hammer, and he thinks they're wonderful. He's never, I believe this person's name is Dwayne, and I've actually never played first edition, having started on D&D and moving to second edition.
His name is Nathan, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nathan.
Yeah.
I don't know why I had Dwayne in my head, but but having started D&D and moving to second, but am enjoying your podcast. It is great for ideas, full of information, and just a pleasure to listen to. So he's been running a basic D&D, I guess, since December 2011.
Oh, okay.
With
cool.
his fiance, his brother, cousin, and her husband, and things have been going great. Put in through the classic modules, put a little plot twist of his own. He's up to episode 22 right now. So he's got a question for me when I brought up about the dungeon decks and trying to get to the website Gamers Rule. And I guess he's been having problems trying to get to the Gamers Rules website. You know, I've had that problem too, but you know what? They are on Facebook. So if you have a Facebook page, you know, just type in Gamers Rule, and I think you could find them from there. So yeah, I just checked recently. They do have a Facebook page, and they might have a link to their actual website. So you should be able to find them from there. And he's also talked about using props in this game. Mm-hmm. And he ran B7 Rakhasia and Rakhasia. Sorry. I kill you.
Sorry, Tracy Hickman nailed that one into my head with that saying. Rakhasia.
You die. So, he said he retyped many of the letters to both make them easier to read and able to pass them out to players. You know, I do that too sometimes. If there's like a little blurb inside a module, I'll retype it in Word or whatever and reprint it out in a cool-looking font. And he also photocopied the bottles of wine. I guess they're in the module so players could look at them. So that's cool. We had that props episode. That was really fun to talk about. And just little things like that. I mean, we talked about it before. He says he also enjoys creature feature theater. And he said he's going for just straight information to a mini encounter with the creatures. Apart from information on the creature, it's nice to hear how other DMs run their sessions, even just for a little bit. Yeah, we did the little mini thing, but it ran really long.
Yeah, he's way back on episodes.
Yeah, it was like eating up like a half hour
more than
of
that.
The show, if not more. Yeah. So but we will have creature feature theater coming back as far as presenting monsters, and hopefully maybe a new one in the past with approval from Vince and Will. So we'll see.
We don't no approval. Put it in there.
Well, I'm going to send that monster to you. There's a new monster I was talking about with them before the show, and I'll let you guys know what you think about it.
Not approved. Not approved.
Okay then.
Go on. I'm sorry.
He was also wondering about what other groups do for mapping. Just trying to do a straight graph paper and pencil, but it wasn't working too well. So he was trying to he was focusing too much on the actual dimensions of the dungeon, of the corridors and rooms. Tried photocopying, that didn't seem to work too well, but he redraws map on graph paper, taking it out secret doors, traps, and the like, and still covered unexplored areas with post-it notes. Interesting. I've heard other casts that people use whiteboards, computer programs, or tablets. So I use a whiteboard for it. I'm actually concerned about doing that again. If not, use that next best thing, battle mats. Find the battle mats. Those are awesome.
Oh, yeah. Especially the Pathfinder ones are good, too.
Yeah, if you can get battle mats from Chessex or whoever, get them. Especially if you go to the cons, they might have like some oops versions of them. You can get them for dirt cheap, and there's like really minor stuff that's wrong with them.
Oh,
you
is
can
that
get a
what
huge
that meant?
battle mat for like $10. And it's like it was cut wrong or something like that.
Oh, that's what that meant. Because I got one of those at Gen Con.
Definitely.
And
Chessex or whoever, check them out. They're oops mats. Yeah, but just remember, you do not use dry erase. Use wet erase markers, folks.
yeah, the one I picked.
Erase.
Yes, wet erase.
Wet erase.
Do dry. That's exactly what it's going to do.
It'll dry and never come out. And he also said, I'm going to bring up a can of worms, the racial level limits. One thing he said is, if the DM is not going to impose level limits, make it more enticing for humans, is giving them attribute bonuses as well. We actually kind of talked about that. I did something similar for my World of Greyhawk campaign setting. I kind of modify it depending on just an example, like if you're a human, if you're of Auridian stock primarily, if you remember the old 83 box set, depending on where you come from in the World of Greyhawk fantasy campaign setting, it will say where, like, if you're from the Valuna, for example, what the racial stock is, and if you're primarily Auridian, I have it out to where like Auridians get like a +1 bonus to something here and a +1 bonus to something there as far as their attributes. So yeah, that's something that you can absolutely do that make humans a little bit more enticing to play. So I don't know, that's one thing I do, and I think that's pretty much it. Says, keep up the great work, and I eagerly looking forward to the rest of the podcast, from Nathan on the Piazza and OSR Gaming.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Did you talk about the occasional props?
Yeah. Talk about using props.
I encourage using props, and like I said, he brought up the thing. I encourage using props anytime you can. If it's going to have significant, a meaning to the game, yes, use props. I use props all the time, especially in Call of Cthulhu. I use tons, thousands of props. Anything I can find.
Dude, that game screams for using props, literally.
And I think, and if you don't use props, will it hurt the game? Nah, not really. But let me tell you, that entices the players to get more active. They have more appreciation for it, and they get more interested in it. Use props. And it adds another level of immersion into the game.
Yes. If you want to feel like you're, like, once years ago, I did like a side adventure where they were. My original group, they were going to a silver mine that was inherited by one of the dwarves, and this silver mine has been uninhabited for like 100 years, and so they had to go clear out the silver mine. So I took the map and I did the whole thing. I printed it out, I crumbled it up the paper, and then I pour water on it here and there, coffee stains, wine stains, you name it, purposely spilt beer on it. And gave it that weathered look, and they loved it. It was great, and that map is still around somewhere. We've kept it, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, they become like souvenirs for the group. Like, oh yeah, remember we went and did that thing there in the dwarven silver mine. We took on that demon. Yeah, that was really cool. Stuff like that. Those, not only do they enhance the game itself, that second level immersion, but after that, you don't just toss them away. They're kind of mementos of those occasions, and it's kind of like when they found the one ring and he put it up on his mantle, and Bilbo would talk about his exploits,
right,
going on that search with the dwarves. So it's kind of like that in a way, at least how I see it.
Cool.
Excellent.
Did you finish the email up, or is there any more? Or?
Oh, yeah, he said, P.S. eagerly await the creature feature theater on the Flumph. Now, that's never going to happen. I'm sorry.
That's going to be our next creature feature with Nick.
Flumph? No.
I'm not doing that. You could do that, Vince. It's all yours. I volunteer you.
No, thanks.
Wear Flumps.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Nathan, a.k.a. I don't know, has it Bove?
Bove on the Piazza?
And OSR Gaming.
And OSR Gaming.
Yeah, he's from the Piazza forums as well as our forums. Speaking of which, osrgaming.org is our forums. You can join us and chat with everybody and try to annoy Will on a daily basis in the forums.
No, that's okay. They can annoy me. That's all right.
I'll do one more post there, and so I post once every 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, I know. Nick is up now to 20 posts now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should get over there more.
You don't have to. I understand your reason of not going there.
I'm busy.
Yeah, you said it's pretty much the same thing being rehashed in your mind. So.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's all good though. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, our last email comes in from DM David D. Maybe he would actually be DM DD or Double D. Oh no, wait, Triple D.
You're a devil.
Triple D. Yeah. This is kind of a cool concept when I read this at first, and I'm like, I can think of so many ideas to do with this, but here it is. I am GMing a game where the players have just captured a black dragon egg. I wasn't really expecting them to get it, but thought they earned it, so let them keep it. Knowing that black dragons are chaotic evil, and except for an elf, they won't live long enough for it to mature anyway, I think that they are going to try and sell it. In a city like Greyhawk, how rare would a black dragon egg be, and how much would it be worth? Please let me know what you think. I think I have I think I may have someone evil steal it as another hook for their adventure. Thanks, DM David.
Wow.
I thought that was really cool, having to have a black egg and running around with it. And
well, the funny thing is that they captured a black egg. Doesn't sound too difficult to me.
As far as selling it, to the highest bidder. Hello.
No, capturing it.
Oh, well, yeah.
When they said they captured it, wow, that was very challenging. I wonder how much XP they got for that. What kind of bait did they use? I mean, no, I'm just messing around.
What's the breath weapon of a black dragon egg?
they use the flat of their blades to get it, okay? Whatever.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Or a spatula.
Well, the poor thing would end up scrambled.
So they obtained a black egg, and I was thinking so many different ideas about this. Like, you can have they never said they killed the mother, so you'd have the mother hunting them down. That could be an adventure, play keep away from the mother.
Well, if that's the case, then they're going to have some serious problems because Mama got to go look for her baby.
I have to look at some other issues with the party. What's their general alignment? Is there a paladin in the party? I mean,
yeah.
Why would you take a black egg of a creature and then attempt to sell it? How do the players know that the alignment of the black dragon? I wasn't sure what he's saying about it, but the black dragon I think is chaotic evil.
Yes,
how would the players know that? How would the players know? All they would know the stories are that black dragons like to eat people, kill cows, they live in swamps, what have you.
There's a little bit of metagaming thought going on there, yeah. Maybe he should have said, we all know, the party knows that black dragons are evil. They should have just left it at that, I mean. But whatever. Mm-hmm. He's basically trying to say his party's probably going to try to go sell it. He wants to be prepared on what price to throw at them when they try to sell it. And so it doesn't sound too cheesy, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you're talking about a lot of gold for a black dragon egg, and then I would be concerned about who buys it. Because eventually this is going to haunt them in the future later on. If they play long enough, someone may, get this dragon to grow up and be a threat to the lands, whatever.
Yeah, he pretty much said they won't live that long for it to mature, except for maybe one of the elves in the party.
Oh, he already has plans of killing them, huh?
No, we meant age-wise.
They're not going to live that long.
Yeah.
I say 5,000 gold.
That's it?
That's it?
No.
I was thinking at least double that.
10?
I would think 30 to 50,000 gold pieces for that.
Because, like I said, if they captured this thing, that implies that mommy or daddy's still around. They want the egg back.
I could see them.
It could be a whole role-playing issue right there.
I could see them getting upwards in an auction 1 million gold pieces.
Wow! But if you give, I mean, what does that speak for the game then? What's going to happen then when you give 1 million gold pieces to these people?
Hold on a second. Now. Don't forget, they got to auction this off. Well, they got to pay. They got to auction. Well, the auctioneer. They're going to have to pay
tax.
taxes, the local tax. It is a magical creature. You might have to pay a certain fee to the Magician's Guild. Let's see. You might have the tax coming in from the king.
The tea tax. Don't forget tea tax.
Hey, just like our government, they're going to tax you into oblivion.
And they'll probably wind up with like 5 gold pieces.
Yeah.
So,
in any event, I suspect that it's going to be extremely difficult to sell a black dragon egg inside a city.
oh yeah, there's definitely a black market sale.
Oh, yeah.
This is something that you're not going to sell out openly. Rest assured, there is going to be some bad guys saying, like, they got a black dragon egg. We shouldn't let anyone get it except us. I just see a lot of issues.
Well, yeah, if it's going to be on the black market then the whole tax thing goes right out the window.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't give them a lot of gold and everything because I think they'll just, mess that all up onto itself. But, yeah, they're in a quandary right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
City,
so...
until they return the black dragon egg.
Okay. All right, thank you, DM David. So, let's see, let's talk about a little news from Gen Con. Gen Con just passed, obviously, now. As you're hearing, this is probably well into September. We have a little backlog going on, but Wizards of the Coast did announce they were releasing the back catalog electronically. Thoughts, gentlemen?
About frickin' time. I just remembered when they pulled all their stuff off that was PDF it was 3 years ago, I think they did.
Yeah.
The amount of people were like, "What the deuce? Hey."
Especially,
was getting this stuff, paying for it, everything was cool. But now I'm kind of wondering, maybe they pulled it 3 years ago because maybe they're doing it. I'm just speculating here, folks. Maybe they're putting in a particular format that so it's not just a PDF. Maybe they're having their own format for these.
I have a feeling it's going to be one of those, you pay us whatever, like D&D Insider was, you can log on and have access to any book we have to view online while you're online. Once you're offline, you can't view it anymore.
I see where you're
one of those.
Yeah. No, like I said, they said it was going to be released in electronic media. Electronic media, I think, is the biggest, conflict right now among the internet. Everyone tries to pretend they know something. They have some type of inside source. And, I don't know if it's going to be PDF. And, I am leaning toward like what Vince was saying. But I'm very much hoping that it will be released in a format where print on demand is an option.
I would like that, but they're probably not going to do that.
Yeah, I highly doubt that.
There's going to be a lot of control over it. I can tell you right now. It's not simple a thing like, well, we're going to do the same thing like we did with Drive-Thru RPG and then give them all our PDFs. I don't think it's going to be like that because that's what caused the problem from the get-go. There was a lack of control on what was going on, and I think there was a lot of piracy involved too as well. There has to be a bigger control.
There's been piracy going on for how many years with TSR?
Oh, forever.
Well, that's the whole point, that now they're going to get it under control. Now there's going to be a new set of, things, regulations, or rules set. Hey, you know what I would do? I would hope they would hire me and say, listen, what can you do? Give me the stuff. I'll start scanning the stuff. I don't care. I'll do something. We'll do it the right way.
Remember back in, what was it, the late 90s when all the people had all those little websites back on AOL and TSR shut them all down?
Yeah.
For copyright reasons.
I remember, yeah.
Even if they had like the mention of Dungeons and Dragons, the lawyers went after people. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was
insane. I remember that stuff. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of leaning towards that. Maybe in that 3 years they were converting all those PDFs to a more proprietary format.
What can they do with them?
All right, so released like on Kindle.
All right, so they PDF them and they watermark them and they Kindleize them. And they EPUB them. What more is there to do? I mean, there's still ways around all that stuff.
I know. I'm just speculating on here, though. But
please. I have Adobe Acrobat, the full version that I got with school, and I can go in and take watermarks off things.
Yeah.
I mean, what's to stop me from... I'm not that I'm going to do that, but what's going to stop me from saying, Vincent Florio, boop, take it right off.
Right. I think they need to realize that they can only do so much.
there's only so much they can do, and you know, we gotta trust. And this is what Pathfinder does with their products. You know, you buy a product, you get a free PDF from them through their subscription. And I have questioned them numerous times, like, well, how do you expect people to be honest? They said, we just hope that they will remain honest. And I think, like, wow, that's kind of stretching it. And we're talking about gamers, and I'm not saying all gamers are rotten to the core, but there's some gamers out there that are scrupulous and they don't care. And I think we have to be fair about it. We got to do the right thing, and I hope Wizard Coast does the right thing. But I don't want them Kindleizing it, because that means I'm forced to buy something I don't want. I don't want to buy a Kindle.
Well, I was reading on the Paizo forums about that, how they release PDFs, and what you just said. They kind of related to being back in like the 80s when everybody actually had a copy of the book. And remember what the people would do? Oh, can you get me a copy of the book? Sure, I'll go to the library and make a photocopy for you later on today. They figure that if people are going to steal the books, they're probably going to use them and say, hey, you know what? I want a physical copy. I like this game so much. And chances are half of them will buy a physical copy. So,
and you're right, and I think that's a very successful thought, and it's happened before where people come to the store and they say, well, what do you want to buy? Well, I want to buy some Pathfinder books. Okay. And they say, well, I have the PDFs, but I'd rather have the hardcover book.
It's fun to have the PDF to look up things once in a while, but it's nice to sit there, like in your bed or on the couch or whatever.
Or on the toilet.
Okay, well, the toilet, Nick. I'm never touching Nick's books ever if I go over his house now. Yeah, but it's nothing like sitting there flipping the page, trying to find that cool like rule or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you. In the toilet. What happens if you drop it in the toilet?
Well, he's not literally hovering it over the toilet. I mean,
no.
Oh, okay.
Just make sure you wipe your hand before touching the book.
Really? Oh.
Mental note: never go over Nick's house to play games.
Mental note: wipe hands before touching. Got it. Okay.
Double mental note: never lend book to Nick.
No, I have special books for that.
Oh, okay.
Now, did they say when they was going to release? When they're going to start the release? I know they said 2013.
Yeah, 13 or 14. I know. They said that D&D 5th edition is going to take 2 years before it's even released. They're going to be playtesting this thing for the next 2 years.
Yeah, that would make sense because it'd be the 40th anniversary in 2014.
Oh, maybe that's why they're doing that? Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, that'd be one of the reasons. That would be a great time to release it on the 40th anniversary. I think that would be just ironic if they released it at that time period.
Maybe.
But like I said, they need playtesters. I know they said they had like 75,000 playtesters. They want more and more and more. And 75,000 people is nothing to sneeze at. That's just the people that signed up for it.
Well,
so
yeah.
That's not bad.
I know at Gen Con they had a lot of, they had that new playtest packet go out with the character creation, and they had the mini adventure and everything, so a lot of people were playing that and beating that into the ground.
Oh, really? That bad, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some issues that's come out now because, I mean, I saw where they said they're going to have Vancian magic, they're going to have mana, and then they're going to have spell points.
Huh?
Yeah.
Three different types of characters. I think, like, the regular magic user's Vancian magic, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Which one had the mana? Was that the Warlock?
The Sorcerer, I think it was.
The Sorcerer had the mana, and the Warlock had the spell points, or whatever the case may be. It's kind of weird.
It's going to be... If they go the way they're going, this is going to be the most confusing D&D book I've ever seen in my life. It's going to have character class option, and the DM's going to have to sit there and go, all right, so check.
Too many options.
Yeah, that's basically what it's going to be. It's going to be called
Too many.
Yeah. It's going to be, the DM's going to have to sit there and say, okay, we're playing with this, no, not that, this. It's too much.
You're going to have so many options. How the hell are you going to play?
Just remember now, they're trying to entice people from all backgrounds to get involved in this.
You can't entice everybody.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. But, I mean, like I said, I'm going to wait till the final product gets released, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, I'll definitely give the final product. I'm doing the play test as well, but I will definitely give the final product a look. Because, they may hold stuff back. You never know.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there that hasn't been, tested or brought out yet. But like I said, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Didn't they say they was releasing 2 new adventures next year?
Did they?
Was that for the Forgotten Realms or something? I know it was released the next year.
I know Ed Greenwood said he was redoing Forgotten Realms, and whatever we knew in 4th edition is no longer what happened. They're rewriting history again.
Yeah, that was really lame. I mean, I'm very glad to see that they're redoing that thing. I guess it's called the Sundering or whatever. But no, I'm glad to see them redo it.
I tend to ignore everything that happened with the stupid Avatar thing that happened.
The Time of Troubles?
Time of Troubles is... Yeah, I like the Time of Troubles.
I liked it. I love that.
I like Time of Troubles.
The Time of Troubles? Yeah.
Not Tribble Troubles. They got rid of the spell, whatever the heck that one was.
Spell Plague.
Yeah, they got rid of all that stuff. And
yeah, I'm just to see how they're going to do the whole thing with Loth and the Drow and all that other stuff. I'm just waiting to see what happens.
And a whole bunch of, Drizzt novels coming out as well.
So we're going to have a Forgotten Realms populated just by Drizzt clones.
Yes.
Oh, lovely. I can't wait.
And Elminster. They're bringing back all the traditional hits.
He's going to be, serving you a drink, and next thing you know, he'll be popping up under rocks. And Hi, I'm Elminster. Get away from me.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of like false advertising. I don't know if it was false advertising. I was just misled into thinking that they was coming out with redoing a whole new classic setting. I didn't realize we already knew that Forgotten Realms was going to be the setting, the default setting.
Yeah,
so yeah.
Well, I just the thing that Mike Merle said on the things, and we're going to be doing this playtesting until we get it done right. If it takes more than 2 years, it takes more than 2 years. I'm like, how long are you going to make people wait? Come on.
Well, I don't know what that means then. It's just almost like when they went from 2nd edition to D20.
Yeah.
Because it was almost a year before any product was released, I believe.
Yeah, about, yeah.
I think it was about a year before any product was released. I just remember TSR just shutting down completely, and I never saw a product for almost a good year, so I don't know what was going on then. But, yeah, that was back in the 90s. Lord have mercy.
Oh, that was that shift over when WotC acquired them.
Yeah, there was something going on. I can't remember. That's been so long ago. But, yeah, no product was released. All the 2nd edition stuff stopped. I said, what's going on? What are they going to do now?
Yeah, I put that pretty cool article up about Peter Atkinson when he was younger and how he ran Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, yeah.
That was an interesting article to see from that point of view from that employee what happened to Wizards of the Coast. It's in our forums if you want to check it out.
Yeah, that guy's awesome. Yeah.
Anyway, that's most of the big highlights that came out of Gen Con. And, they released Fantasy Flight Games released a new edition of Star Wars.
Yay!
It's in actually beta testing right now, but you still can buy the book and beta test with them.
Oh.
So we'll see how that works out.
That's a new RPG, right?
Yeah, new Star Wars RPG, yep.
Yeah, because Fantasy Flight also is releasing their new miniature Starship Combat Game 2 sometime next month.
X-Wing?
X-Wing, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
That looked pretty cool, yeah. Don't they own the Star Trek one too, or no?
No, because WizKids is doing Star Trek.
That's right, WizKids, okay. Well, if Matt was here, he'd be all into all this conversation right now.
Right.
All the WizKids stuff. He knows all about that. I wonder if Matt's won this tournament or not. He better have.
He better get that Thanos for not being here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right.
Well, better post on Facebook with pictures.
Facebook. Oy. Yeah. Anyway, Sage Advice, RFI staff, gmail.com, 570-865-4210, the hotline. Or join us at osrgaming.org/forums and join in on the fun. Ask many questions. We talk from first all the way up to... Actually, we talk from basic all the way up to D&D Next on the forums, plus other games. Join us in the fun. Let's head to Table Manners.
Typical. Of all the evil creatures in the world, I'd like to find one with table manners.
What are you kidding me? I spent years cultivating the worst table manners on the planet.
Table manners.
Okay, on today's Table Manners, we're going to talk about adding culture to your game. And how do we add cultures to your game? Some tips. Is it needed? Huh?
You add yeast.
Oh yeah, jeez. Yeah,
East cultures, get it? Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah, when you have the mushroom people, sure, you can do that.
Will is referencing a magazine here, Polyhedron magazine. Remember that magazine?
Yep.
The RPGA used to hand out back in the day?
Yeah, I was never an RPGA member.
Well, they were a good set of magazines. Even if
I know. I always felt left out.
Yeah, if you really weren't into the RPGA, just signing up to get these magazines were well worth it.
I know, because the cool geek kids were Polyhedron.
Yeah.
They had the Polyhedron and the non-cool geek kids.
Nick, you was in diapers when Polyhedron was coming down. Please.
No, I'm about the same age as you, recall?
How old are you?
I'm 41.
I'm 1 year older than you. See, like I said, you was in diapers.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Hey, I got Polyhedron magazine.
How old are you?
37.
See?
Oh, wow. You're still in that embryonic stage.
Oh my God.
Well, anyway, as we're talking about cultures, what are we talking about? What are we basically talking about? I was looking at the Polyhedron number 36 concerning a case for cultures. And I think when it comes down to basically, to sum it up and everything, we use the stereotypical regular races, whether you're playing them or whether you are encountering them. So when we're talking about your stereotypical races for AD&D, first edition, you're talking about your dwarves, your elves, your humans, halflings, who am I forgetting? Gnomes?
Gnomes.
Oh, that's elves. Yeah, elves of all people. So that's typically your stereotypical races there as player characters. Now, when we're looking at your stereotypical non-humanoid races or NPCs, which you typically don't play as player characters, you're talking about hobgoblins, goblins, kobolds, trolls, and so on the whole line down there. Now, I like this article because back in the day when I used to run first edition AD&D, when I got off the I'm not the bandwagon, but off the whole thing with basic and expert and all that stuff, I went into first edition, played it typically by the rules under a good DM that I used to know, a good friend of mine. And then I said, this has got to change. This is boring. What am I going to do to make this better? Well, I'm going to tell you what I did. And typically, like I said, I do play by the book, but I see no reason why you cannot have different types of cultures as PCs. Because my thing is like this. Are all orcs evil?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, by the book, yes, they
and
are all
Pigface.
typically evil. So, well, what about black dragons? Are they all typically evil?
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
You think so? In an egg? You think that they're predispositioned to be evil?
Yes.
Okay, well, see, I guess that solves that problem. Well, I guess we won't have no cultures in your game. We're not going to have no cultures in your game.
No, you're right. Go continue.
I'm a firm believer that I think that creatures can have other alternate alignments, and they can be used, in other places where you could use them as PCs or to be encountered as NPCs. For example, if you have a regular group of PCs and they go into the jungle, they find a long-lost race of elves. Who knows where these elves came from? They branched off from the regular stereotypical elf that we know as a PC, moved into the jungle, and now they're like some type of jungle elf with their own special abilities by living in the jungle. Maybe they hunt better. They can, have camouflage abilities. Who knows what all the stuff that you can give them. But this is a thing for a case for cultures. Why would we want to do it? How do we do it? Well, like I said, that's up to the DM. Depends on how imaginative he is and all that other good stuff that comes in. Well, one good example is drow elves.
Mm-hmm. You think they're always evil?
Well, not that they're being always evil. It's the fact that they are a branch. They're a different culture that branched off from the regular group of elves that lived on the surface.
True.
The same thing with dwarves. I mean, there are some dwarves that live underground. I'm sorry. Well, with dwarves, they don't typically live underground or live in mountains. But there's just some of them that branched off from that line.
Druger, whatever they're called. Or...
Durgar.
Yeah.
Darrow. No, Darrow. What are they related to? Gnomes? Halflings? Something like that? The Darrows in, I think in the second edition, I'm sorry, not second, but the second monster manual, they got big eyes and everything. They look kind of funny looking. but they're underground. But again, it's just that they branch off and they form their own culture with their own political beliefs, their own religion, their own economy, and their relationship with their environment is different from the typical or the stereotypical that you normally play.
Well, your example of the black dragon egg that we said before, that dragon could turn into a good dragon if it's raised the right way.
Well, I look at it like this. Let me say it like this from my perspective. If they find a black dragon egg, I would say typically that it might go to chaotic neutral. Would it go chaotic good? Maybe. It just depends. It's difficult to say if alignment is an inherited gene.
I don't think so. One of my campaigns, I had a gold dragon. The party automatically assumed it was lawful good. And they were like, oh, it's a gold dragon. We've heard gold dragons are awesomely good. They walked in and found that it wasn't an awesomely good dragon.
It was a black dragon that was painted gold.
No, it was an actual gold dragon. He was just a really bitter, evil dragon because of the way he was treated as a child by humans and orcs and elves. And he got the short end of the stick, and he became bitter and evil, and he just wanted to kill people.
And that makes sense. Now, when we talk about cultures, now this is where it gets with cultures. See, that's good because now we're talking about one specific creature or monster. But now we're talking about a race, a whole large group of elves or dwarves. It could be even humans. I mean, humans are stereotypical as well, too, as the typical, PC. All these things can be, a good DM is going to say, I'm going to take this group of humans and I'm going to put them there. And I'm going to make up their own religion. I'm going to make up their own, special abilities if they have any. You don't have to have special abilities. I'm going to have their own, just a whole different thing with them so that when they are encountered, it's going to knock the players off course because they're like, whoa, look, we just ran into a bunch of elves that lived in the jungle. Hey, what's up, brother? And the next thing you know is you got a bunch of darts being blown out of those blow guns and everything to paralyze you. And then you get eaten up because they're cannibalistic.
Cool.
Or, they might be cannibalistic elves that live in the jungle. Who knows? I mean, in Dark Sun, the halflings were cannibalistic.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You remember though? That's not your typical, stereotypical, halflings. We all know halflings to be kind and generous, and they like to drink and party and all that stuff. And even Kendra like to do that. Mess around with those halflings in Dark Sun and see what happens. They eat you.
No.
So, I mean, how to do it simply is for a DM simply to just get a piece of paper, and do, what do they call that stuff again? When they're trying to make something up new?
Create?
So, well, I mean, they're creating, but when they call it, what's the English term? I keep forgetting it. To create new things. I forgot how to do it. They're thinking and thinking, and then they write down all the stuff that comes first to their mind and so on. But I'll think about that word. Yeah, it's a tough word. It's on the tip of my tongue. Tips, well, tips is just simply, I think the best way to get tips, read National Geographic.
I would definitely tell you, that and make sure that you provide good service when you give people food. Oh, sorry.
Not those tips.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, if those are cannibalistic, there ain't going to be no tips left. Let me just tell you that. Everything will be eaten. So, no. Read National Geographic. Look at real-world cultures in real life to give you some type of idea of what you like to put into, a different type of culture in the game if you can. Right. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, just pick something weird looking or something that's strange, something that might, grasp someone's attention.
Right.
Go ahead.
And I think with I was reading through the article for some culture. My players aren't going to care about the cultures. They want to know, can I kill it and what kind of cool stuff does it have? But
yeah, I see.
But not necessarily. I think, like you were saying, if you take a particular race of demi-humans and maybe like the wild elves, like in this article, and you really turned it askew a bit and put a different point of view, because in his game world, he put them somewhere else, not like in the Valley of the Mage, but he put them in a jungle setting. kind of did that. I did have kind of a question, like, well, what happened to all their magic and everything? I mean, couldn't they have fashioned stuff with their magic or anything? They forgot about metalworking. I don't know. Some of that didn't fly with me, but if it works in his game world, hey, that's cool. But what I really wanted to say was, and it doesn't have to be really extravagant, like long, detailed, social economic history of hobgoblins in your world. It could be just a few paragraphs.
Yeah.
It could be just something that, this would be a cool idea. Or, okay, I want to do this too about my hobgoblins in my world. Just a few paragraphs, maybe a half a page of like cool stuff that you can throw in.
Check marks for all that matters, bullet points.
Yeah, pretty much. It doesn't have to be like, like what we saw in second edition, the complete book on hobgoblins.
Ugh.
A whole book?
The complete book for only $13.95.
Yeah, a whole book on who? Do we really need a whole book on on kobolds? I just don't think so. So just a few paragraphs. Like get some like you're saying, get some ideas from National Geographic, Smithsonian. Look out there and see what's out there in the real world, and pick and choose.
Now, another tip. Now, this is for those people out there that really get into miniatures. I think another great example of how to involve different cultures is use different types of miniatures of the same monster. If you take a look at orcs, and orcs do have pig heads in first edition AD&D. We can never get off that. Orcs do have pig heads.
Yeah,
they do.
But look at the orcs from like Lord of the Rings. Look at the orcs from other movies that might have orcs or something similar.
Later editions.
Everything, see? And if you can find miniatures, and Lord of the Rings is perfect because they have like 3 or 4 different types of orc miniatures. They have these subtle differences on the miniatures. You can identify which one of the Uruk-hai and what are the other ones called again?
I don't know.
Oh, I can't remember all of them. The ones from Mordor and whatever.
I think there was the Uruk-hai, there were black orcs, and there were regular orcs.
Which one were the Orogs? Well, whatever the case.
Orogs, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there was all different types of orcs. There's like 3 or 4 different types of. So I mean, there's a reason why they are the way it is, and there's different types of goblins, and this applies to any of the monsters and everything. If you want to, make it. I just think that it's good just to have some of those differences in there. And like I said, it doesn't, and just like Nick said, doesn't have to be extravagant. Doesn't have to be like 5,000 pages of why this orc made up a new god and did this and everything. There's a prime example of such a thing that happened in Ravenloft with this one guy, and I can't remember the whole story on him, but he created an entire religion, and it has something to do with the Beastmen. And Ravenloft formed its own little demi-plane form and everything. Oh, not the demi-plane, but its own little land there and everything. And he's there as the boss monster, whatever. And he created his own god. So with that came the politics and the laws of the land and all that other stuff. So, I mean, just from one person made a whole new culture there. And I think it just adds some more spice to the game. It's not necessary. It's not needed. But if you feel that it will add flavor to the campaign, I say go for it. Sure. But pretty much, that's all I can cover on that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it was good. It was an interesting article, and I just thought it'd be nice to throw it in there because people like to add a little flavor to their game, and maybe they need a source for inspiration. And you can get a hold of the Polyhedron magazines probably through half-price books, or I think some people. I don't know if they're legal to put online or not. Probably not.
Polyhedron?
Yeah.
I don't think they're legal to put online because they did have advertisements, they also had, I think, people's they had submissions from other people sent to them. Same thing with Dragon Magazine and Dungeon Magazine.
Yeah, I think it's in the same deal.
That's the same deal. They have to get permission from every and each person to get, to allow that to happen.
Yeah, there's actually, I'm looking at Polyhedron the magazine. There is no actual copyright on it. It only says is using the official newsletter of TSR's role-playing game, and is free to all RPGA members.
Yeah, I would have to look it up and everything, but the problem is, though, if it's not copyrightable and everything,
Oh, there it
someone
is.
sent in an article, and I don't know if it becomes property of the RPGA
Yes,
or
copyright
what.
TSR.
Yeah, see, that's the
There you
whole.
go.
Yeah, that's the problem right there.
Yeah, copyright TSR 1985.
There you go, and there's exactly why, and that's why the Dragon magazine thing blew up.
Well, it's too bad because these would be some interesting things to stick online because not everybody had access to them.
Well, hopefully, if they do things wisely, this will be part of the back catalog, which I seriously doubt. But that'd be a great if they could get them all together at once.
Oh,
That's some
nice.
good stuff.
Because
Back
some of these
catalog of Dragon, Dungeon,
Yeah.
and Polyhedron would be great.
Polyhedron had some really good like ideas, adventurous classes in them.
Yes.
And I
Dungeons in
missed
them.
out on it because I wasn't cool enough.
You should have just joined the join. It was only $12 a year. Yeah, you were cheap, I know.
No, I was spending it all on
Moon
pop
pies,
and pizza and
moon pies, and comic books.
well, comic books, but we didn't have moon pies.
Will was spending it on the moon pies because that's from his generation.
That
Bye.
is gross. I hate moon pies. I think it's the nastiest thing on the planet. Ugh.
Oh, are you kidding me? You gotta freeze them. They're awesome frozen.
He was
Gross.
spending on moon pies and Bazooka Joe gum.
Hey, now Bazooka Joe gum, I had that all the time. I had no problem with that.
That's 30-second gun.
Ugh. The
Flavor lasts
nastiest
30
gum in the world.
seconds, and that's it.
For 5 cents, the nastiest gum in the world. Bazooka Joe gum with the cheesiest comics in them.
Yeah, they did, but that was the best gum in the world. Play tricks on people. I used to take that gum and stick it on people's chairs so they sit on it and all that. I
Nice.
love that kind of gum.
Nice, Will.
And you say you can't play an evil character.
No, that's not being evil. That's being mischievous.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. All right, so write us in and let us know what you think about adding culture to your game. What do you do with your character classes? Do your orcs have pig heads or not? And
Do
also,
your
like,
clerics use sharp-edged weapons depending on their god or not?
no, that's second edition. No.
And you know what? That is so funny. No, that is a good point right there. There's no reason why you can't do that with your stereotypical cleric and have a different culture where they can use sharp weapons.
That's called- That's called an evil cleric. That's what it's called.
That's part of culture.
Yes.
Whatever.
And actually, like you said about other orcs, you can look to later editions too for the miniatures because they have changed so much.
Oh,
Between
they did.
first, second, third, and fourth to now fifth, probably they're probably gonna look so much different again. So
Yeah, look at Pathfinder's miniatures. I mean, there's so many miniatures out there. When you look at these orcs, I'm like, what the world happened to you?
just go to ReaperMinis.com and you could probably find about at least a dozen different orcs.
But the orcs will all have the same excuse. It's something we don't talk about, just like Worf did when he said, like, what happened?
That's just something we don't talk about. That's right.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, let's head into some game mechanics.
You think I'm mad? Perhaps I am.
What are you, a wizard, a genius?
Darn. A perfectly good brain wasted.
Game mechanics. Okay, folks, there we are in game mechanics in our podcast, and we're going to go to the Unearthed Arcana for this.
I mean, boo.
Or yay or boo, depending on who we are. The great Unearthed Arcana split that happened in 1985 that none of us have really gotten over, apparently. But
Yeah. A 20-year-old
I have.
debate. Yeah.
I'm good with it, even though my book is of all of them is the one that's like falling apart real bad. You know,
My Monster Manual 2 is like that.
no, my Monster Manual 2 is fine, but my Unearthed Arcana, just like in the past 10 years, is just like gone the pot. I don't understand. But anyway, Unearthed Arcana, we're going to just look over the Thief Acrobat. It's not one of those player character classes that you see a lot of, but you know, if you're playing a thief and you're looking at kind of spicing things up, trying to do something different with it, the Thief Acrobat is a pretty good option to look at.
Yeah, I
So-
always thought of this class as like the Eastern Ninja.
Yeah, it's like
Or the Western Ninja, whatever you look
yeah,
at. Yeah,
it's. I don't know how I would really just. Yeah, I guess it'll be like the Western version of a ninja in a way. So let's just do a brief overview on that Thief Acrobat on page 23 of our Unearthed Arcana. So, as with any class that you have certain qualifications that you have to be able to achieve minimum strength of 15 and a minimum dex of 16. So all you guys who made that, thief with only a 14 or a 13 strength, well, guess what? Can't do it.
Oh.
And there's one thing I found interesting is with this class, it's not considered dual class or multi-class. When Gary Gygax designed this class, the Thief Acrobat, and if I remember correctly, was originally an issue of Dragon Magazine. It's a split class specialist. So basically what happens when your thief achieves 5th level and meets those minimum requirements of strength and dexterity, you can then become a Thief Acrobat. But what happens is your certain skills get locked in at the 5th level ability, particularly pickpockets, open locks, find traps, and remove traps. And read magic will never be gained after that. So once your character starts to go down the path of being a Thief Acrobat, and you need to find a Thief Acrobat to train you that must be at least 10th level. So good luck on that. So there are some drawbacks to this, but you do gain some other things about this too. Once your other abilities, thief abilities, are locked up, you gain other ones like tightrope walking, pole vaulting, jumping and tumbling. And also your other abilities of move silently, hide in shadows, hear noise, and read languages, they go through their standard progression as you go up in levels as a Thief Acrobat. Those don't get locked. It's just the real thiefy stuff that really defined a thief, they get locked in at 5th level. So this is, I don't know what, I guess this is a thief that's more, in my opinion, not really set for a dungeon, but more for maybe a city campaign. This is something set for like going across rooftops, vaulting across the spires of the city, stuff like that. If you're looking for something more a city, a village or whatever themed kind of thing, but sure, there's chasms to be jumped across in a dungeon too. So. But I think it's kind of more like an urban type character, at least in my opinion. And in the descriptions, they talk about how tightrope walking works, the pole vaulting, the jumping, and what have you. That goes into the details of that in the Unearthed Arcana. But one of the interesting things I found about this class, if a character race qualifies as a thief, they can qualify as a Thief Acrobat. So you could technically have a halfling Thief Acrobat, a dwarven Thief Acrobat, a gnome Thief Acrobat. Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah.
Now that brings up. I just popped into my head. And you play that gnome illusionist Thief Acrobat.
Ooh.
Could that happen?
Sure.
That would be. Oh, that would just be sick as a character class. Gnome illusionist Thief Acrobat. That would just be sick. He does a tumble, phantasmal killer,
yeah.
Or pole vaults and then does shadow monsters on you. That's pretty sick. Oh, I got to create that character. So, okay, another way to break the rules. And even in the table, it talks about like the different experience levels and the level titles. There's like at 6th level, you're a burglar acrobat. 7th level, you're a second story thief. Then cat burglar, master cat burglar. Then name level is actually 10th at thief acrobat. So beyond that, talks about about broad jumping, tumbling, you're falling, how all that works, all the mechanics works for a Thief Acrobat. There are certain adjustments to be made for like certain things that your Thief Acrobat can make depending on your strength or score. The higher your strength, the better you're going to be at a high jump or a standing broad jump or a running broad jump, just for example. and it has the tables that you need for all the different new skills of the tightrope walking, pole vaulting, and so on. And it goes through the progression of that. One of the things I initially thought of with the Thief Acrobat, as far as like to improve the class, is I thought the 5th level cutoff was kind of low.
Okay.
I initially, in rereading this, I go, you know what? Maybe a thief should be 7th level before qualifying for a Thief Acrobat. Because it just gives a little bit more percentage on your skills that are locked in. That was just one of the things that was kind of running through my head. But it's maybe only a 10% difference between the skills between 5th and 7th level. So, I don't know. That was one of the things that was kind of going through my head at the time.
Yeah, or maybe as a DM you can allow the things to improve a little bit too.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe you could do that. Maybe not as quickly. Maybe it's like
2 to 5%, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Or if you're lucky, if you can find gloves of thievery or gauntlets of dexterity, maybe that'll help you out too. So that could happen. I mean, but as far as like tips on playing, I have never played a Thief Acrobat, but now I'm thinking about the Gnome Illusionist Thief Acrobat maybe someday. Who knows? But like I said, it just sounds like a character class that is more for urban environment. It doesn't sound like a whole lot that you would do in a wilderness setting. But it doesn't mean you couldn't use those skills, but it sounds like it's really like your what you might think of a thief in a city. He's climbing walls there. Not only that, but he's jumping across rooftops. He's walking across tight ropes, things of that nature. And from what I've read, also, if there's a thieves guild, they have thief acrobats. They're held in just the same regard as a regular thief. There's no real animosity between the two different types. It's just a different type of specialty, if you will, within the thieves guild. So
I see this as your swashbuckler class.
It almost is, in a way.
Give him a rapier and one of those little hats with the feather on it. You can run around hopping and trying to kill things in French.
I thought it was interesting that it does do as far as a thief subclass, if for lack of a better term, even though we call it split class, that there's an emphasis on strength.
Yeah. I wonder if this was the basis when they got the whole idea for kits in 2nd edition.
Yeah.
Because it kind of reminds me of a kit from 2nd edition.
Yeah, it does kind of, and I think it wasn't incorporated in the 2nd edition. I think like an acrobat type in 2nd edition.
I'm not sure. I never really got into 2nd edition.
I think it did, but
yeah, they did.
What you did? I thought it was in that complete thief's handbook. There's like a thief acrobat.
It probably was.
But what are your guys your thoughts on the thief acrobat? And what's your 2 copper pieces on it there, Will?
Well, let's see here. Thief acrobat. Nah. Nah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think a thief acrobat is a good support character, but he would not be a primary support character. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because
he would not be, because at the moment he gets to 5th level and decides, I'm going to go to the Thief Acrobat thing. And let me tell you something. You know who the Thief Acrobat I'm thinking about is that one that was in that Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, that horrible cartoon.
That cartoon.
Oh, that girl.
I'm sorry to break your heart.
I loved it
girl,
all, schlockiness.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's good, but like I said, it's not a primary support character. It's something that's in the background that if you need someone like that, and then you got a backup in case they fail to find a trap or whatever. But I agree with you, Seth, but I think this is a character that's more suited for like a urban type of terrain issue and everything.
Yeah.
And then again, that's born onto itself. Because what are the other players doing? Are they all going to be thief acrobats? Are they going to be running around the streets? Oh, look, there she is. How'd she get over there? Look like Spider-Man. Oh, no, Spider-Man's a comic book.
Pole vault. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think what I get what your idea is saying is like, if you only have like one thief in the party, you don't want to make it eventually into a thief acrobat. This is like if you have like a multi-class characters or you have single class thieves, at least one other, and someone else is playing a thief. Yeah, okay, they could become a thief acrobat.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, that's what I kind of think too. What about you, Vince?
I've never actually played the class myself like you.
I've never played the class, but now I'm kind of intrigued the idea about a gnome illusionist thief acrobat.
It just never appealed. It never appealed to me to play the class. I mean,
yeah.
If I want to play ninja, I'll just go over to Oriental Adventures and play ninja.
Yeah, I am with those particular skills getting locked at 5th level. That's why I was kind of thinking, maybe lock them in at 7th. Maybe they should qualify at 7th level instead.
This is like Will said, a supporting character, like the 3rd string in a football team or something.
Yeah,
I would use it like a perfect NPC to help the party out for once in a while. I think it's more of an NPC class than a player class. I
agree. It's more of a support role. This is like, if your first thief is down, he's not doing what he can do. Bring in Bob the thief acrobat. See what he can do.
Well, like I said, the thief acrobat is not a staple. It's not the staple character class for a beginning game. If you had a group of 4 people, you'll get a regular thief, a regular cleric, a regular fighter, and a regular magic user. Now, if you have 5 people playing, sure, someone can go ahead and play a barbarian, another person can go ahead and play a thief acrobat if they want.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just, they're just background support kind of characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just another role-playing opportunity. If someone wanted to do something a little bit more flamboyant, I guess, like you're saying, kind of like a Errol Flynn swashbuckler type, like you were saying, Vince.
I could see this like a sea adventure, or you're going to be on a ship all the time. This would be a perfect.
Oh yeah, definitely. I could see a thief acrobat in an aquatic type setting, on Seabourn. So
like Waterworld. Oh, sorry.
So, actually, let's hear what you folks think out there. You can call us at 570-865-4210. Leave us a voicemail, or you can contact us at, I believe, rfistaff@gmail.com.
Oh, my God. We have to mark this episode in history. Nick actually got both the phone number and the email address correct.
Yes, you can email us and let us know what you think of the Thief Acrobat class. Maybe if you have experiences using the Thief Acrobat, and maybe some tips and ideas of using this particular subclass of a player character class in AD&D First Edition. So I guess we're going to move on from there to our next segment.
Yes, we will.
The Dragon's Horde.
So Dragon's Horde this week is going to be looking at the same Polyhedron magazine, number 36. I thought it'd be kind of interesting to show you some of the cool things that they had in here, like they had the clerical spells in here. Your typical everyday clerical spells at low level that you have, you're thinking, oh, they're kind of useless. So they have a couple ideas in here, like, for example, continual light. The first thing that comes to your mind with continual light, more than likely, is like, put it on a coin. We can use it and put it around our neck for a light source, or put it on Joe's sword, so when he's in front holding his sword, we have a light source. But an example they gave here was, instead of using it that, maybe you can use it to mark a monster that's running away from you inside of a dark dungeon.
Yeah.
Isn't that a cool idea? Throw it on the monster.
Cast it on his butt.
That's disgusting, Nick.
He's running away from you. That's the biggest thing that's facing you.
Well, wouldn't it blow up? Never mind.
All if he's eating beans.
Ew. Dispel magic. Now, we've all looked at this, kind of made me wonder. Dispel magic. You cast Dispel magic on a single item to make it non-magical for 1 round. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I always thought when you Dispel magic on something, it's gone. I didn't know you could only do it for 1 round.
No, Dispel magic on... No, not Dispel... You mean the spell Dispel magic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's permanent. I don't think it's permanent.
No, it's not permanent. It's, well, let me look it up here. In Cleric first level spell, I believe, the spell magic.
Yeah.
It lasts, duration, permanent.
Yeah, and here they're saying you can be cast on one item to make it non-magical for 1 round. So I guess they're giving you errata to the spell then?
Or is that the basic D&D version of it?
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, let's read in the description. Maybe if it's cast on an item, it only lasts for a certain round. Okay, hold on.
And while we're waiting, while he's reading everything...
We could listen to this song by Conway Twitter. No, okay.
No, could you imagine if there was a dwarf thief acrobat trying to go across one of those tightrope lines? I just couldn't imagine a 300-pound dwarf going across a tightrope line.
Yeah. Well, he's looking that up also, the Feign Death spell. We all know what that spell does, but
yep.
Think of the spell as using it, you can use it to slow poison down. Isn't that kind of cool? And it also is proof against energy draining attacks. I never knew that. Have you ever thought of using it like that, Will? No, right?
The Feign Death, I knew about the poison, but not the level draining.
Yeah.
It says here, under Dispel Magic, it will not affect a specifically enchanted item such as a scroll, magic ring, wand, rod, staff, miscellaneous magic item, magic weapon, magic shield, or magic armor. It will destroy magic potions, remove spells cast upon persons or objects, or counter the casting spells in the area of effect. So I don't know where... I think whoever wrote this, they're wrong.
This is by Jeff Martin, whoever he is.
Well, Jeff, you're wrong.
Yeah. Well, he's also saying, whole person. Say you're in a tight area and there's a bunch of monsters coming at you. You throw a whole person on the front one. They all get stuck behind that first one.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Protection from evil. I didn't know this, but the reverse of the spell obviously is protection from good. And it says when casted, will keep out all good and evil enchanted creatures. Interesting. I didn't know that was possible. They can do, if you do the reverse, it does both.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know
that
about
sounds,
that
yeah,
either.
It sounds a little fishy, but he's saying you can do that.
I can look it up.
No.
Now, this was in that Polyhedron magazine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One that I thought was really cool that I never would have thought of, speak with animals. This spell is very effective in gathering information from animals. As in what's going on in the land. The people won't tell you what's going around. Talk to the animals. Why not?
You know what? It does say in the protection from evil spell, the reverse. The spell can be reversed to become protection from good, although it still keeps out enchanted evil creatures as well. So it does both in the reverse.
Well, what you're saying is, though, when the person cast it, protection from good, you're talking about all good creatures.
And evil, too.
That's interesting.
It says it right in the description.
Keep that book open because here's another one I got a question for you here. Command spell. Now, I'm familiar with command spell. You're familiar. It's a one-word command to tell someone to do something. But I thought you couldn't use it to tell someone to do something really suicidal or dangerous.
Command?
Yeah.
Yeah, look that up.
Because it says
command, they'll obey to the best of his or her ability only as long as the command is absolutely clear and unequivocal. I.e., suicide can be announced so the creature would ignore the command. A command to die would cause the recipient to fall into a faint or cataleptic state for 1 round. Her after creature would be alive as well. So typical commands: back, halt, flee, run, stop, fall, fly, go, leave, surrender, sleep, rest, etc.
He said on this, commands to jump or swim can be useful near cliffs or hazardous waters.
Yeah, because you're not telling them to jump off the cliff. You're just telling them to jump.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. I think that's a bit...
That's the same thing like swim in a pool of piranhas.
If they don't know if the piranhas are in there, you tell them to swim, sure. Or if you tell them to jump and they don't know a cliff is there, then fine. There you go.
Well, if you're standing next to a cliff, you hit command, you say jump. Obviously, the person is going to know there's a cliff right there.
I mean, what if they don't know? What if they're they can't see it for some reason?
Well, then I don't know, Nick. you found the loophole.
Well, I'm just saying. I don't know.
I like this one. Animate dead monster. A cleric can carry a set of bones with him until needed. Pass the bones under a door, and then cast a spell. And the skeleton can be ordered to open the door or raise the lever.
I love that. That's awesome.
Really cool.
One I have used is, I don't know if I spoke about this before. This was actually way back in the day, back in 1930s, when I played a cleric in a group. I think and it was very popular DM. He had like 8 or 10 people playing at one time, and I was like one of 2 party clerics. Actually, I might have been the only party cleric, and we were in a desert region, attacked by a blue dragon. Blue dragon was lobbing, doing its lightning bolt breath and casting spells. So I'm like, what do I do? The party's getting hammered here. And so I cast Silence 15-foot radius on its head.
Oh.
Totally negating its magic use ability of casting spells. And I was the savior of the party.
Let's see, here's another one here. Let's try to find it here. See, with animals we did. Sticks to snakes. You can use the reverse on a snake that's poisonous, make it into a stick, put it in your pouch. Later on, stick the snakes and throw the snake out.
Oh, heck yeah, that would be awesome. Your Charlton Heston Moses moment right there. Boo!
Yep.
This one I didn't think was interesting. Detect magic. They say only 1 inch of thickness of metal will block the spell.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't...
Yeah, I think that's right.
That is right? All right.
Yeah.
Detect lie. The reverse of the spell would be what? Tell truth?
Detect truth.
Detect truth?
Yeah.
The reverse of the spell can be a powerful way of getting past a guardian or a single powerful monster. What do you think about that? I'm trying to figure out how to apply that.
Well, maybe if you captured a monster and you ask it questions, you cast Detect Truth instead of Detect Lie? I don't know. I mean...
It's something to really think about. It makes you think these odd ways of using these spells.
Yeah, but you know what I do when it comes to stuff like this? I just use the KISS rule.
Yeah.
Be part of the KISS army, man.
That's right. Gotta be. Now, Detect Lie. Which one is that one?
The clerical spell.
What level is that spell?
I believe that's first level.
These are all first level spells.
Oh, wait a minute. A Detect Lie is...
Well, I'm looking on this thing here.
Yeah, I was just wondering because, I'm just looking at these spells. And, trying to make spells more powerful than they are to give the players an advantage, that's kind of like, I don't really like that idea.
They also go into some druid spells here as well. One that really flags me here is Ceremony spell. Rest Eternal will make sure a slain opponent stays dead. Huh?
Oh, Ceremony? That's interesting.
They're saying that you cast that and it'll make a slain opponent stay dead.
Yeah, which pretty much means they can't be risen from
resurrected.
Yeah.
Or reincarnated.
Yeah, but then Ceremony, that spell is only like a second. I'm sorry, it's a little higher than that. I'll take that back. Ceremony. I'm trying to find where that spell's at. I'm trying to figure out where they're getting these spells from.
They're probably... I don't know.
Ceremony must come from the Unearthed Arcana.
Maybe.
I believe it is.
Oh, that's why then. Okay.
In fact, I can look in the spell list.
While you're looking that up...
Hold on, folks.
While you're looking that up, there's another one here. Pass Without Trace, that spell.
Oh, yeah.
This spell can be used in an instant. When cast on another creature, the creature passes over will radiate magic for 1 to 6 turns. So you can track it easily. Never thought about that.
I think people are grasping for straws now.
Ceremony is in the Unearthed Arcana.
I figured as such.
Warp Wood. This spell may be effective against enemies, maps, scrolls, and spellbooks.
Oh, heck yeah.
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 Oh, yeah, I can see that. Cast Warp Wood on someone's scroll. Oh, man. Well, anything made of wood. That includes paper products.
Protection from fire or lightning. Because of the great amount of damage that is negated by this spell, a clever druid could enrage a dragon so it wastes its breath weapon on him.
Ouch.
Cool.
Yeah, it would be a good idea. Plant growth. This is a good way for a druid to rest in safety. As an 8th level druid can stay within an oak tree for 12 hours. Huh.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. Yep.
That's pretty much it. Those ones that stand out were really cool.
Yeah, I guess it depends on interpretation and specifics on spells and so on.
And
that kind of brings up here, when we're talking about the druid, have we done a show about druids?
Yeah.
We have? I couldn't remember if we did or not.
Way back. It was like one of the ones that Jason did.
Oh, okay.
We could revisit it. It doesn't matter.
I was wondering, because I know there was a Dragon magazine article back in the day where they there was a really good thing about druids and how useful they are in the dungeon environment.
Druid.
The druids. No one knows where they came from or where they were going.
Druid.
Made Stonehenge.
So anyway, if you want to start your own RPGA group, there's a letter in the back here you could send to TSR, and to let you know that they consider the different ranks of the TS. I never knew this. The different ranks of the club were Fellowship, Guild, Conclave, and Assembly. So you have to at least have 10 members in your club to have a Fellowship of the RPGA. I don't think it ended like that, but... Oh, by the way, you have to get this in before August 31st, 1987, so you're out of luck.
Yeah.
1987, I was in boot camp. Oh, man.
Aw, poor Will.
That's just terrible.
And then Will got out of boot camp and started screaming at people becoming the drill sergeant that he is today.
Oh, no. At least I wasn't reading from the book verbatim, just as Nick was just a second ago.
Ooh.
Hey.
You're going to hear someone complain about that. We know who that is.
Well. What else?
All right, so next episode we'll be back. It'll probably be after
Labor Day.
Labor Day. People really won't notice, really, because of the gap of the shows. And we're going to have Will read off of I-5 the last 2 more. Word for word. The whole module. Word for word, we'll read it, and that'll be the whole entire episode.
Oh,
joy.
Man. Don't punish me.
He'll break it down and tell us what is good about it and why it's wrong. I don't know.
Well, I'm converting A1 to Pathfinder. I can tell you about that.
You are? Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Converting?
Yeah, what are you doing? How are you doing it?
All I'm doing is simply just redoing the whole module in its original format. I'm simply converting it over to Pathfinder statistics, and I'm going to show how simple it is.
Cool. Are you running that with your local group or online?
No.
I'm willing to disbelieve.
I don't intend on doing any more. When I do these conversions, I have no intentions of running any more of these first edition AD&D modules until I am done with the Pathfinder ones that I'm doing.
Oh, speaking of like adventures and gaming groups, like you're talking about, you're converting that one. I do have my youngest daughter Anna. We're gonna start an AD&D campaign with some friends of hers from school.
Yes,
I talked about that last time.
Yes,
and what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start posting on the OSR forums, and I'm gonna do like a log of that.
Yes.
So everybody can start reading that. Hopefully in the next few weeks we'll get started with that. So I will post something as soon as I get everything about everybody's characters.
There is a campaign adventure blog area on the forums just for that.
Yep, and I will be blogging it. It'll be a blast.
There's a couple people who have actually utilized it. I think Will utilized it once for one of his games.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I got a little backlogged on that, and I like to do a blog on all the stuff that I do, but it's just physically impossible with all the other projects that I have going on, with all the game conventions and everything. I'll get back to it, though.
Yeah, and let's see, I should be hopefully starting another adventure actual play podcast for D&D shortly. And people convinced me to bring back the Book of Sorrows group, so that should be back too. Remember that campaign from 2 years ago?
Book of Sorrows, heck yeah.
And I believe you want me to run a beginning game next month.
Yeah, for a couple of us over Skype.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we got a game tomorrow, I believe. Am I supposed to have a game tomorrow night?
Are you?
When is that game supposed to be run by DM Dwayne?
Oh, yeah, I think he said tomorrow. Yeah, I think he said on Monday nights.
We better help him roll up some characters.
Well, we're just going to be all busy this fall and winter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone's going to be inside.
Yeah, that's why exactly I did this campaign. Something for the kids to do inside. And I think it's going to be kind of cool putting it down as a blog because, we'll think back when we were, that age, 10, 11, 12 years old when we started, first started playing. So
yeah, but you're going to have SpongeBob, SquarePants, and My Little Ponies and all that stuff in your game, though, right?
Actually, no. Not quite. Anna made a human ranger. Also her friend, I said her friend, John Paul, he's got a elf fighter magic user, and his dad's going to play.
Cool.
So we're going to make him a character too. So we definitely have 3 people so far.
You know what I like starting up a group, telling everybody make up characters on your own, bring it to the group. You sit down and there's 3 rangers in the group.
Yeah. Right now we just got the one. I think we're going to have our first session was we're going to do, actual just creating the characters for session 0 and maybe I'm going to put out the plot hooks. I'm going to have 3 or 4 plot hooks out there for them to hang on to. So I already got one with a guy, the John Paul, with his character. He's from the town of Hamlet, so you probably know where that's leading.
You're going to punish those people with that kind of stuff.
Heck yeah, I am. They'll be fun. They can handle it.
Yeah, wait till they die. Daddy's a mean man.
Couple people asked us questions on our forums, and I meant to ask you this, Nick, since you're the Hackmaster expert here.
Oh, okay.
Did they release an advanced book or something recently, or are they going to?
Yes, there is. At the Kenzerco website, they did they actually re-released Hackmaster Basic as a free PDF,
right?
And plus the Player's Handbook is now available. It got released the beginning of this month.
Is this different rules or the same rules from Basic, or?
It's the same rules from the new Basic that came out a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're familiar with that, it's different from Hackmaster 4th edition. Absolutely different. And the Hacklopedia is going to be out soon as well. You can get it now. Actually, I think it's both as PDF and print. You can get the Hacklopedia Beast. So go to Kenzerco.com and check it out. I mean, it's different. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But if you want to just try to find something different, I mean, go for it. Take a look.
I was kind of disappointed when I got the basic book for that last year at Gen Con.
Yeah.
And I went and sat and did the demo with some of the people from Kenzerco. Yeah. And I was just like, this is dumb. I hate to say that. I mean, I'm sorry. I like the Kenzerco people. They're awesome people, but I just thought the combat system was bogged down. Too much stuff to do.
Yeah, it is.
And I didn't understand that initiative tracker thing that they had with the pegs and everything.
Yeah, it's just a little too much.
The thing that Jolly made up.
It's too crunchy, in my opinion.
That thing that Jolly made up with the little pegs on the wooden board and everything.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Nick? Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was... I was like, put the pin here, you go, put the pin there, someone else goes, and then someone else goes when you put the pin in a different spot. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, it's very crunchy when it comes to combat. That's why it's not really my thing.
And then it was you roll...
Some people like that.
You roll and the person rolls, and if you get a certain number and the person gets a certain number, he hits a certain way. I was like, why did they do this?
Yeah, they have the opposing rolls stuff now.
I was trying to figure out why they did that, and I guess to get as far away from 4th edition as possible.
I think so.
Well, what it comes down to, when they're doing that, they're going back to that, that Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game mechanic.
Oh, it's almost like that in a way.
Yeah. And being when we're talking about other RPGs out there, I went and got that free RPG from that DCC game.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Dungeon Crawl Classics? Yeah.
Yes.
No?
Oh, nah.
Not
lame. I mean, you might as well play another D20 game, except this one's a little more brutal. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, I looked at it. At first, I thought it was a cool concept. But I'm like, you know what? I can retro this onto my game. I don't need a whole new mechanic for this.
Was that big giant black book that came out that was really pretty and everything?
Yeah, they have two versions. They have the black book that's a limited collector's edition. And
that thing was huge. I saw that at...
I mean, everything's in there, and it's great for that, but it's just really, they like Will's saying, they just took the basic D20 concept and did some little tweaks here and there, added, new funky dice. But I read through it. I thought, cool concept, very cool. But I took a step back. I'm like, you know what? I could actually take some of these ideas and retrofit this onto my AD&D game.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that, and I see how they developed the adventure to do that. My issue with it is it's a D20 game. They added some stuff. They removed a lot of stuff, but it's much more deadlier in this type of system too. I noticed that. That's why they got that. Yeah, now they got that silly character funnel thing. And
I love the character funnel. I think that's great.
Well, there's a lot of negative things that come with it too. So I've been watching the blogs on it and the forums on it concerning the funnel, and it just well, you're gonna die in this game. I'll tell you right now. You feel a same.
That's why they tell you to make 3 to 5 characters from the beginning.
Yeah, but that's nothing new. They did that in Dark Sun.
Yeah, okay then.
3 to 5 characters. Wow.
Yeah, but it's like it's really basic stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's really basic.
You can make. In fact, there's an online character generator now for it. It immediately generate like 4 characters for you, so you don't even have to roll them up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you wanted to do it by hand, it doesn't take long at all to generate a character. I mean, you're talking almost like back in the original basic D&D days, generate a character. You're done in like 10, 15 minutes.
All right, that's cool. That's all I can think of, and I think that's going to put a wrap on the chit-chat part of the show here.
Yes.
As we all went off into left field and thoughts and dreams and hopes, and we listened to
hopes
Will.
And dreams.
And now, for the rest of the show, Will's going to read from the Bible. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, I'm going to say...
Lord.
Exactly. Praise you. Keep it original, keep it old school, and good night, everybody.
Reverend.
Amen.
Roll for initiative.